I've been basking in it for the last 30 minutes. My God. I feel like a seafront village after the Vikings have left.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
So this is the address of the Walt Disney Company's office in London, Hammersmith. And I wanted to bring this up because everything that happened with the Acolyte and Willow and, I'm going to say Andor, happened at this office. All of the funny money business was going on in England, okay, with the Acolyte. I'm going to assume the Andor Shell Company is also addressed here because Blue Stockings, which is the Acolyte, is addressed here, and so is Willow. Okay, so what they did, Kennedy and her cohorts, is they gave these shows legitimacy. Now, yes, Disney greenlit Willow. Okay, Disney greenlit Willow. They paid for it and massively overpaid for it. Why? I already have an idea. It's because overages were being given to the Acolyte. Okay? Overages were being given to the Acolyte. Let me repeat. There's a rumor out there that Kennedy was taking money from other projects and putting it on the Acolyte. Okay, let's go further. Andor's Shell Company is based at the Walt Disney Hammersmith, London address, right? The reason why Andor looks so cheap, they were taking money from it and giving it to the Acolyte. And it's very easy for Kennedy and Hedlund, Gilroy, and yes, even John Kasdan, to use the shell game to play with money. Okay, you want to know why these shows look cheap? It's because the money, a lot of it came from overages that were designed to the shows the money was supposed to go to. But that money went to the Acolyte. Okay, that's where it came from. And it's a Harvey Weinsteinian thing to do. But again, also, there was some other money that was not stolen from the shows. They were embezzled, I'm going to say. I will use that term, embezzled, from these, from Andor and Willow. There was other money given for a PSYOP. I don't know. MI6. I don't know. But in my opinion, taking money as an overage to film a TV show or a movie that the main company, corporate, did not give you the blessing for is a criminal offense. It's embezzlement. Okay? It's corruption. And that is when you watch the trailers and you read the articles that Caroline Reed put out about Lucasfilm not making its buying what they spent for it back in the Star Wars movies, when she talked about how much Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was over budget, by $100 million. And you're like, okay, why? And then you start thinking, you know, maybe they used some money from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny for the Acolyte. Because then we've got Willow looking like cheap shit, written like cheap shit. Andor looking nothing like Star Wars, woke cheap shit, and so is Willow, by the way. And then we got the Acolyte, which is absolutely being destroyed on YouTube. And with these shows being over budget, it makes perfect sense where a lot of the money came from to film the Acolyte. Because again, the Acolyte never was given the green light. And now Disney is stuck with it. You know, and the funny thing is, the dislikes are left up on YouTube. The comments are left up. Why? Because Iger and Jon Favreau want to prove a point to Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland, and maybe their dark backers that the fans didn't want this. This is a stupid thing to do. And oh, by the way, we know where the money came from. Okay. And Caroline Reed, look, we basically have some legit proof now, I'm not going to talk about it, that certain executives at Disney have been talking to Forbes and the editors. Okay, I'm not going to say what it is. Just, you know, it's a theory, and yet it's real. Okay, it's a theory that is based in somewhat reality. Okay, and they're the ones feeding Caroline Reed this stuff, because what they're doing is they're going to cut Kennedy's legs out from under her and humiliate her on the way out the door. Okay, so let's talk about this more.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever. Dad, when are you going to stop blighting the environment with this atrocity? My God, can't you see that it wants to die? Let it go.
Stop. Not one more crooked word. Your tongue could open a wine bottle.
I never had an agent. It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her.
That one just drew a pentagram on the floor and chanted, "I summon thee," 3 times.
Get out.
Here all night.
Get out!
So on discovering that Headland was using the same address as Disney's headquarters in London Hammersmith for Blue Stocking, the same for Barking Lion with Willow, probably the same for Andor, same for Indiana Jones, for all the Lucasfilm movies there, it had to have pissed Iger off. Because they never gave Kennedy the green light, yet right in the offices, under everybody's noses, Headland and Kennedy are playing a shell game, taking money off the top of projects that were greenlit to make their dumpster fire student film fan fiction, okay? And when I look at what Caroline Reed has been doing, I think, who does this benefit? Quo bono. It benefits Iger. And who else does it benefit? Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau wants her gone, and I don't think it's because out of revenge. I think it's retribution. I think she was supposed to be gone last year, for crying out loud. And I think retribution is a better way of thinking about how Jon's handling it. First off, long game. No, he's not gone. He hasn't gone. And if the idiot's out there thinking he's going to leave in 2 years, wow, he sure knows how to quit. If he had quit, it would have been the moment he heard that Gina had been let go. Okay, he would have just walked away. And I think that he's doing this because he's pissed off. He was interfered with, And everything that this idiot's done right here left him probably feeling dirty, gross, and disgusting. Because what they were doing in England, because they could get away with it at the time, was something illegitimate as far as Disney's concerned. Okay, they were taking money, Kennedy and Hedlund, that didn't belong to them for a project Disney had said, okay, this is for Andor, this is for Willow, this is for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Okay, when I look at these three projects and I see how badly they looked on screen, Andor and Willow, and I think how juvenile it looked and how they were filmed, I have to say that it's obvious to me that there wasn't enough money, okay, for the project. So this is what they did. Did John Kasdan care? No, of course not. John Kasdan didn't care at all. Because he made sure to insert woke shit everywhere he went. And he did it from Soylo, a Soy War story, Pandolando, Kira being an overpowered bitch, and, wimpy Han Solo, which is, look at this turd. What would he know about anything? He's a Nepo baby. And he's weird. Then we get Tony Gilroy. When I watched Andor, and I watched all 8 episodes, horrified. And the only thing we got really that meant Star Wars anywhere was Luthen Rawls' ship. You're looking at this crap, and you're going, now I understand why it looks so cheap. There were no aliens. And you went about saying, to your writers, Tony, everything you love about Star Wars, don't put it into it. And of course, woke critics are saying, it's the first adult version of Star Wars. It was trash. Star Wars is meant for everybody, okay? 12-year-old kids and the 12-year-old inside everybody. You walk into the theater, you sit down in front of your TV, and you just escape, okay? There's also a lot of meaning in what's going on here. And these people took it out, okay? They had no budget to work with because this idiot was allowing Harvey's former personal assistant to take extra money that they had and use it for her dumpster fire, okay? And it all leads back to Kennedy not taking her Viking funeral and not taking her long goodbye seriously, okay? If she had done what Iger wanted her to do in the first place, we would not be here trying to figure out where this money issue with Star Wars, with Lucasfilm in general, okay? Now that we've established that they were using the Disney headquarters in London for shifting money around, it makes perfect sense, okay? And it implicates both John Kasdan, I think, and Tony Gilroy, as well as Harvey's former personal assistant and Kennedy herself, and other entities at Lucasfilm, Candace Campos, Rhonda Hjort, Rain Roberts, etc. Okay, it has serious implications for all of these people because $100 million overage for the budget of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, really? $150 million for Willow, when it looks like it was filmed on an iPhone camera? Same thing with Andor. All right? And what's really interesting is Hedlund was using the new stages that Andor was using at the new film studio in England. She was also using the sets of Willow and Andor as well. So, and these were all Kennedy entities, all right? These were all Kennedy's things. And every time I scratch my head and look at it, I go, we now know, it's a theory, but if you connect the dots, you can see it. They were moving money around between those four projects and basically taking projects that probably could have been made under budget and putting them over budget because they didn't have enough money for Acolyte because Acolyte was never greenlit, okay? And if you look at the way Caroline Reed is writing her Forbes articles, Kennedy's name is never mentioned, but she is the object of ridicule here. All right, and one of these questions has got to be Bob Iger looking at her, why the fuck did you hire Leslie Hedlund of all people? Okay, because that's where the downfall began. You made Disney's big blockbuster, promised blockbuster, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the biggest flop in history, maybe, because you had to have Andor or Acolyte. Seriously? This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.